Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Yahweh is the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, and powerful name of His only begotten Son, who is the Savior of the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect within the nation of Israel. And Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as you Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. That may look like the nations where you've been scattered to, but are Israelites. And I also want to give divine honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. All right, this is the brother you call from the GMS branch out of Des Moines, Iowa, coming back at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit, Habakkuk Wadash. And Lord's will, I want to entitle this lesson, Put Yourself Under the Yoke. All right, this was inspired by our class and something that we spoke about is, various upbringings that, brothers had in this faith. All right. The big bro Mathathia was mentioning, his upbringing and different duties and tasks that he was responsible of doing that helped his growth. All right. And then looking further, to our elders and apostles, and we look at the different things that, they weren't optional that they had to do that helped them grow. All right. At one point, the apostles mentioned how in the old school they had to read the Josephus, and we even spoke about this. If you see how thick that Josephus is, that ain't no joke. All right. I've been borrowing one from Pops out here for the past 8 years. But that's a big book. But it's a lot of history and information in it, and they also speak about, the classes that they had to attend, how long they were going to camp, and the sacrifices and so on and so forth. And these are all various things that help them elevate and help them grow and get to another level. Right now, moving forward to the time that we're in now, all right, it's not a requirement for us to read the Josephus. All right, it's not a requirement to have so many hours of camp, to where you at camp from sun up to sundown, or 10 hours and everything like that. Now brothers camp for like a couple hours, 3 hours here, in certain cases, right through the spirit, so, things have lightened up, I'd say, or, I guess I can say lightened up as far as the type of labor that has to be put in. All right. So we don't have to go to the library like our elders and apostles and search through a whole bunch of books and everything like that. Now, a lot of this stuff is at a click of a finger. All right. Which in one aspect that allows us to come up on a higher level quicker. All right. Through the spirit, but there's a labor that we don't have to do. All right. There's the scriptures talk about how we've entered into other men's labor. See, the work that the men before us put in has lightened up the load for us in the spirit. Right now, as we were speaking about these things, through the spirit, something that the big bro Mathathia had mentioned is like, you have to put yourself under the yoke. OK, now it's a matter of disciplining ourselves. All right, to advance and grow in this grace period that we have. All right. You may have to discipline yourself to get on some type of regime, all right, to make sure that, you're growing in the spirit, all right, and making sure that we're elevating, through the spirit. So without further ado, I'm going to start off with this, and Lord's will, these points, come together and it'll be an edifying lesson. But this is Sirach chapter 51 and verse 23. It says, "Draw near unto me, ye unlearned, and dwell in the house of learning. Wherefore are ye slow, and what say ye to these things? Seeing your souls are very thirsty. I opened my mouth and said, buy her for yourselves without money," right? And we're spending our time and our effort and our energy, all right, to invest in this ministry, to grow in wisdom, all right, to study and to do these various things, right? And because that, things are easier, so to speak, we don't want to, we still want to have a mentality of being diligent, and we still want to have a mentality of working hard, as the scriptures talk about in the book of Sirach. All right. Because our elders and apostles, they worked extremely hard. All right. They worked extremely hard, with the different things that they had to do and so on and so forth. Right. And we don't have to work as hard as they did. OK, to gain certain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right. like I use the examples, we don't have to go to the libraries and, hop on, and this bus and that bus and be there for hours and searching through all these books. A lot of this stuff is at a swipe of a finger now, right? But that doesn't take away from the mentality of being a hard worker, all right, a workman, and utilizing the leisure time, that we have to study, all right, and with diligence and with effort, as our elders and apostles and the men before us did, and so on and so forth, right? But Sirach 6, in verse 19, it says, "Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth," right? So, as we come to this wisdom, all right, is coming with a workman mentality. All right, it says, "Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon." All right, so just showing you the mentality that we have to approach this wisdom with, a workman mentality, a person that's going to dig, look up things, all right, search through things, right, and so on and so forth, all right, really taking the time, meditating and thinking through precepts and different things of that nature, all right, however that work manifests, all right, and shows forth in, in your personal life or in your schedule, all right, to invest in this ministry. You might have a reading regime that you're holding yourself to, all right. So like I use the example, going back to the example with the apostles, they had to hold themselves to reading that Josephus. All right. So they had to structure themselves to make sure they was getting that done. Right. Well, we don't have that requirement, but we have to put requirements, upon ourselves. All right. If we're noticing that we aren't, growing or elevating, or if it's a matter of, we're growing and elevating and we can get to a higher level if we, hold ourselves to these various standards. All right. And, you can't just you can't just sit back and wait for your camp head to put these different standards out for you and your personal growth. Nah, you have to have that in your own walk. I'm holding myself to this standard of reading this and going through that. I'm holding myself to this standard of going through this many breakdowns a week, or I have this standard for myself to make sure, before I do X, Y, and Z, that I at least always read 2 chapters, or I'm at least doing this, or, I'm getting my lessons in, whatever the case it may be. All right. So it says, reading that again, Sirach 6 and 19, "Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon." And another precepts coming to mind is part of it's escaping me. That laboreth, is it laboreth? Let me see. Toil, labor. Man, how's it worded? I feel like it's in Sirach. Salaki, let me just scan here real quick. That's how it's worded. The Wadi Yabashim Yawashah, hate not laborious. I thought it was laborious work. All right, I was spelling it wrong. All right, this is Sirach chapter 7 and verse 15. It says, "Hate not laborious work, neither husbandry which the Most High hath ordained." So we don't want to despise the work and effort, all right, that we have to put in, all right, the discipline that it takes to actually obtain this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, and to retain it, all right, and to grow in it, because, the Lord has opened up our mind to receive these things, but it doesn't just stop there, all right. We continue to grow in that. All right. The faith continues to grow. Our understanding, our wisdom continues to grow. But for growth to happen, there's work that has to be put in, in these different areas in our lives. All right. To ensure that through the Spirit. Right. So the point being is that we have to work. All right. We're workmen. OK. Plain and simple. All right. That's why Paul would often use the analogy of us being workmen. All right. Of us being servants. All right. Slaves to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, because there's work that has to be done. All right, so let's go back to this in the book of Sirach, the Hey, even Yahweh Shai said, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Or are few. So we are laborers, right? And a part of the labor is the labor that goes into actually studying these precepts, all right, going into these different things, going into these articles. Apostles mention this and that and the third, and being not ignorant of those matters and looking it up. Might not go in as thoroughly in it as they might have, all right, but you at least get a surface level of it, or you might go a little bit deeper than they might have gone into it, and so on and so forth. The apostles even mentioned about that, like how they learned certain things from other brothers, all right? And it's based off of information that they might have brought out, and then the Spirit was on them to look in a little bit deeper and come across this, and the Spirit guides them in X, Y, and Z. So, these things happen, man. But Sirach chapter 51 and verse 23, draw near unto me. I'm sorry, let me go back to verse 25. I opened my mouth and said, buy her for yourselves without money. And this is the point, verse 26. Put your neck under the yoke and let your soul receive instruction. She is hard at hand to find. So it says, put your neck under the yoke. All right. So that's coming underneath this wisdom and being disciplined to it, man. All right. But it's showing you that we have to put ourselves in that. OK. We have to be disciplined ourselves, hold ourselves to a type of standard. OK. Plain and simple, right? So it says, put your neck under the yoke and let your soul receive instruction. She is hard at hand to find. All right. So the main point I want to emphasize on that precept is us doing that ourselves, us putting ourselves under that yoke. All right. Having our own structure that we find that's going to be beneficial for us. All right. Trying whatever system that may work for you. OK. Verse 27, behold with your eyes how that I have but little labor. How that I have but little labor and have gotten unto me much rest, right? So, we put in this work, all right, and look how much it's going to bring us, all right? The work that we're putting in, the discipline to read, to study, all right, whether it's fasting, all right, to do these lessons, to research and so on and so forth, right? It's going to provide us much rest, of course, in the kingdom, all right? And even a peace of mind as we're growing in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right? It says he whose mind is stayed upon the Lord, he shall be at perfect peace. All right. It says this is the rest wherein you cause the weary to rest. Right. So this allows us to, as we gain more understanding, all right, should be strengthening us in our temperance and our prudence and our fortitude and our justice, so that as we're going through actual trials and tribulations, we have the wisdom, all right, to guide us and get us through different emotions that we have as we're going through certain trials and tribulations and so on and so forth, to be at ease. All right. That happens through growing in the spirit and maturity in the spirit, right? But it says, behold with your eyes how that I but little labor and have gotten unto me much rest. All right. It says, and that's it. That's all I want to grab on that. All right. So let me grab these last two precepts and I'm gonna end it off. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6. It says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, right? So the ant doesn't have somebody over their head barking orders at them and everything like that. All right. But what does it say? Provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest, right? So, all right, the ant just does what it needs to do. All right. Knows the task, know what they need, and make it happen. Okay. All right. So the same thing with us, we have to have some type of self-discipline, all right? Self-discipline, all right? Disciplining ourselves, all right, without a man forcing us or telling us X, Y, and Z, right? We have to have that. And we are going to have men that are going to have structures and different things that we have to accomplish or whatever the case may be, all right, in place for us, right? We are going to have that at times, but overall, we should have that self-discipline. OK, we should have those standards and directions for ourselves. All right, to get what we need in the spirit. All right, it says, how long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. All right, so we don't want to be lazy. All right, we don't want to be lazy minded. All right, we want to get what we need to get done. All right. All right. So this is the book of Sirach chapter 10 and ending off on this Sirach 10 and 1. All right. Sirach 10 and 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. All right. So it says a government of a prudent man. all right, is well ordered. All right. So we want to, order our lives. All right. And govern it. All right. According or surrounding this word. All right. This ministry. All right. Gaining this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, this grace period. All right. Growing in the spirit. Take advantage of this grace period that we have that is coming to an end. All right, that's been in my spirit. The big bro Matati and the brother Yawakanan out here, they did a lesson titled along the lines of what are you doing with your grace? All right, we don't want to waste this grace period, all right, of mercy that we have and throw it away, okay? By not investing in the spirit or whatever the case may be. It says sow to the spirit and you shall, let's go ahead and grab that. This is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, right? So we don't want to look on this grace period and be like, oh, I just sowed to the flesh. Or, like these people, they aren't even taking advantage of this grace period. But speaking to us that are in the know, all right, we want to take full advantage of this grace period that we have, all right? Full advantage of it, But it says, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. All right. So got to be mindful of how we're investing our time, where are we putting it towards, and is it profitable? All right. And we know that there's plenty of things that are lawful for us to do, but it's not expedient. All right. All things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful, but all things edify not. All right. Edify means to what? To build up. All right. So there's things that we can do and, it's not building up. All right. Which we're liberty, we have the liberty to do, but we have to be mindful of that, not, overindulging, everything being in its proper balance. All right. So not saying that's wicked. All right. Don't want to condemn yourself when, when you go bowling. All right. Like, man, this is wasting my time. You got to, do good unto yourself and so on and so forth. So everything is done in its proper balance. All right. But once again, all right, we all have, our own time and we use it how we want. All right. And we do want to make sure that, we're in the spirit. All right. Walking in the spirit. Right. Taking full advantage of this grace period, man. And even the point that Matati had mentioned, even in certain things that we do have in our downtime. All right. You can still do things that are profitable. All right. You might have some downtime and the spirit might, watch a documentary, something that may edify you and give you some information that, be maybe profitable for the body. All right. You might listen to different podcasts. All right. It might not be directly correlated to the truth, but it ties in the spirit. Might watch certain documentaries about animals or whatever the case may be, and it'll show you the glory and the wisdom and the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and, different things like that. All right. You might start looking up different things with herbs or, you get your bodily exercise in and, so these are different things that may not directly be correlated with you opening the Bible and reading it or you directly listening to a lesson, but in some way, shape or form, it can still edify you. And those activities are being able to partake in that. Hey, that's only going to benefit, ourselves. All right. So having that being said, Lord, what I was edifying, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in all sincerity and the truth. With that, I'm going to say shalom.